organization. I've had the honor to know President Sanchez. I've had the honor to know Mr. Racine. I've had the honor to know Mrs. Diaz. I've had the honor to know Mr. Lewis. But before, none of these people knew each other. Every person out here represents an opportunity to do something bigger than themselves. To pay it forward, to think outside of the box, to look at a situation and not look at why can't we do something, and how come that'll never work for Indian country, and to start to look at how we can supply, how we can distribute, how we can oversee, and how we can come up with an end result to get that product onto the shelves or get that product out there for our people to sustain us and make a difference. It all starts with one person. And then it just goes wherever that energy takes it. So I would like to encourage you, again, think outside the box. Don't just do what everybody else does. Do what you do. The Creator has put every single one of us here on this earth to do something incredible, significant, impactful. We're all here because to some degree we've aspired and believed that, and we've pursued bettering ourselves, bettering our family, bettering our community. And when you lock into that and you take it to that next level, and the Creator takes it from there, we really don't know how many people we're ever going to help. In this room are the warriors of our people today. Our business people are our warriors. Because if we are going to get to self-sufficiency, self-sustainability, we do have to feed ourselves. We do have to not be told what's possible for us, but define our potential ourselves. There is indeed today a glass ceiling in Indian country if you pursue a certain road. We need to remove it. We need to venture out and do the things that it is that we can do based on our belief in ourselves. And we've talked about it, by native, native to native. But let me tell you something. If you don't believe in yourself, you will never believe in me. If you don't think you're good enough, you'll never think I'm good enough. We have to reevaluate who we are and how good we are because we drank that Kool-Aid for far too long. We need to readdress and remember who we are and how incredible we are as a people, how intelligent we are, how smart we are. We're not talking about entrepreneurship just going back to the 60s for Indian country. We're talking about a place outside of St. Louis, Missouri, where they had bigger cities than Greece, than Athens, than Rome. And our people built that right here. And people, we talk about, we've come from many miles today. Folks came from Florida. We've got people here from New York. But I guarantee you got here quicker than what it would have taken to come from South America and walk all the way to St. Louis, Missouri. And they did it. Why? Because they knew we could sustain each other if we just came together. If we just understood that what I have, you may need, and what you have, I may need. So let's start. Nobody says it's going to happen overnight. But by God, let's start. My wife, I know she's going to say, did you say by God? It's not good for the Oklahoma thing. Let's start to work together. Let's make a conscious effort to set the example from the top. From tribal nations, let's stop looking at the minute sector differences that we have. Let's stop looking at the differences we have and arguing over a few $1 billion. And let's start looking at the trillions of dollars of opportunity that we can wrap our minds around if we come together. Consortiums that would come together to supply all of our gaming industries are awesome. Whatever that product is that's costing you $1 at your casino, if we all bought the same product, dropped down to a couple cents a piece, what's that going to do to your bottom line? Like that. And to avoid that for the betterment of our people because we don't like this guy or that guy doesn't like us, or we can't sit there, that's just not smart for business. That's not even business. We have to put down those petty differences, and then we have to understand something, that if we do decide to come together and have a consortium, that doesn't mean I have a consortium, and you have a consortium, and you have a consortium, and they have a consortium, or we have regional consortiums. Let's come together and find a way we can create a model so that everybody feels secure in it, everybody's protected in it, everybody's vested in it, and we can drive down that cost for long-term sustainability so that we all eat off of the pennies and the dollars and the dimes that are going out the door every single day. And that $27 billion will turn into $64 billion without even having to do anything different. Because we're going to drive that cost down, we can do things smarter and save our money and define an economy. That's possible. That's not next year. They've already done it hundreds of years ago, right here. So it's not for us to do something new, it's for us to remember what we've already done. But that takes conscious folks that are really vested in the betterment of Indian country. And you know what? You're right. Rhetoric, it's not a harsh word if it's applicable. Truth is never harsh. Sometimes it isn't. We have to be willing, as we've talked about, to get down to the brass tacks of what do we have to do to move the needle. And that's everybody in this room, no matter what sector you're involved in, no matter what business you're involved in, to come together and work together for the greater good of our people. It's possible. And that's what the National Center really, truly means for Indian country. If we're not moving the needle, we're not doing something right. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say thank you. I want you to leave here inspired. I want you to leave here renewed. I want you to leave here understanding that what you do in business makes a difference for children. For my child that's going to be born in 3 months, I'm counting on you. He's counting on you to make a better way for him one day. And all of those generations of our people that are yet to come, we're out there fighting for them to be successful. So listen, if we can help each other be successful, why wouldn't we do that? And if we can't help them in that moment with what they've got to do, let's partner them. Bring them to the National Center. We'll get them built up. We'll put them in the workout room. We'll get them teamed up. We'll get them on some good food. And we'll get them ready to go out there so that we can bring them back to you in a year. And they can take down that opportunity for you. But let's just not turn our back and destroy another dream and send hopelessness back to the reservation because we've got enough of it out there on any given day. Let's find out what we can do to create a better future, not kill a future. I want to applaud every single one of these folks here for taking their time. And I want to applaud all of you for coming here to have that conversation. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, right next door here, we've got businesses. I want to thank Sam Pasquale for coming here and saying, you know what, we were going to put a Starbucks down the road, and believe me, I've contributed enough to Starbucks, and I'll blame that one on my wife. They were going to put a Starbucks in their new mixed-use retail development right down at the bottom of the stairs, and guess what? They came here, they drank the coffee, Starbucks is out, Native American coffee is in. I get chills right now. You know, I guess I'm just a business nerd, and I don't know what it is. But that's exciting to me. That's exciting to me. Because you know what? It's not just going to be Indian people that drink that coffee. It's going to be all those people rolling all over Valley View, drinking Native American coffee. Hey, where'd you get that coffee? Oh, it's Native American coffee. Oh, really? Do they have espresso? They sure do. Go spend your money on the reservation. It's not just about keeping our people spending their money on the reservation, it's getting other people to come spend their money on the reservation. This is so huge. And we're just getting started. We literally are just getting started. Congratulations to you guys for all your success in the business that you have, but you know what? We're not even started yet. Let's do more. Let's push harder. Let's expand the envelope. Let's change the paradigm. All the stinking thinking from before, let's get rid of it, and let's look at how we move forward and get beyond to a new day for Indian country. And just like Chairman Stevens said, just like Chairman Washington said, just like President Sanchez said, the time to have the conversations is not when you're having to have a conversation out of desperation, but because we're coming to friends to do business, because it's just what we do. Work together, lift each other, feed each other, grow each other. Thank you. Thank you for being here to support that energy. Go home and spread it to everybody that you talk to. And let's come back together, even though we're not done here, October 22nd through the 24th, and let's grow that conversation more. Let's find out more about what businesses you've done. There's a gentleman right here that was at the Reservation Economic Summit in Las Vegas, and he was there. We introduced him to Apple. Apple just put him on the front of their website as Mobile App Developer of the Month. We're one organization that's now impacting many different ways. We've got to start, do the work, and let the Creator take it wherever the Creator's going to go with it. But we know that the Creator has always been there for Indian country. And with that, and that in front of us, and I've heard many times today in the Tribal Business Leaders Forum, it was about how can we do business, but how can we engage our culture into everything that we do so that when we go out there, it's not just coffee, it's Native American coffee. How are we telling our story with everything that we do? People love our story. They want to come support us. We've got to give them every reason in the world to do so. And let me just finish with this, guys. Sometimes we wonder how come Indian country doesn't get those opportunities? How come Indian country we're not getting those focuses? Let me just say one thing to you, and we're going to go on next door. We're going to do business. How many ads have you ever seen on TV talking about what Indian country has to offer? We've got to get out there and tell our story. We've got to lobby, we've got to ask for, we've got to set aside, we've got to do whatever we need to do in our tribes, in our organizations, to get out there and run the ads, tell the story, let people know who we are and what we do so that they can come shop in Indian country, they can come buy in Indian country, promote your businesses. My dad used to tell me something, and I want to say this is something I've always held to this day. He who whispers in a well is not as apt to make the dollars as he who climbs a tree and hollers. Get out of the well. What you do just isn't good enough for Indian country, it's good enough for the world. Sell your story to the world. This is the only organization in Indian country that's not confined by the boundaries of this country. Wherever Indian country can make money, the National Center is there. Whether that's in South Dakota, Florida, or Bolivia, Colombia, Germany, if it can make money for Indian country, we need to be looking at it. I just came from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, and I said, oh, we've got to look around Manitoba. You know, what we have is timber. Then sell your timber and go invest in British Columbia. Escalate yourself out of your economic suffocation. Stop thinking about what your sector is in your community and start opening your mind to the world. That's that box they put us in again. Get out of your box. They're not going to come, I guarantee you, they're not going to come pick us up out of the box and put us outside of it. We're going to have to get out of the box. So that whole crap in the bucket thing, let everybody go. Let's push everybody out now. Let's get everybody out of the bucket. It's time. We're in a renaissance for Indian country. And you guys are, every single one of you, a part of it. Thank you for being here, for all the energy that you add to what it is we do, for your care, for your compassion, for your spirit. And thank you for all of you to come here to support this movement in Indian country. We're going to keep fighting, we're going to keep pushing, and we're going to make sure there's prosperity for our people. With that said, buddy, if you want to go to the next slide. Up next one, right there. We have our business trade show, our teaming alliance, our business development expo, American Indian art market right next door. Folks, network, we've got tables set up in there, come together, have those conversations, and then let's go to the next thing. Res Arizona is October 22nd through the 24th, and then one last thing. We are showing the Heat Spurs game upstairs at our reception. So, come to the reception. We have a ton of food for you. It's going to be a great opportunity to network further. We'll see you tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much.